Hey, it's Rob and welcome to Axel's Garage. We're back out here with Uncle Sam's slicer, and I don't know whether this is like the third or fourth video, but it's painted, it looks good. I got it set to the side and I worked on all the hardware. I have the hardware laid out here. It was all this hardware. There are 60 pieces, I counted them, and it worked out to be 60 exact. 60 pieces went in the ultrasonic cleaner with degreaser and citric acid, and then when they came out they were thoroughly dried and blown out and everything, and then we put them in the tumbler, and the tumbler we used walnut shells with some new finish car polish to get them nice and clean, and you can see we got a nice clean finish on most of the parts. When they came out of you, this is one of the sleeves for the slides that it rolls on, and when it came out of the vibratory cleaner, it does have some of the residue from the walnut shells on it, and what we had to do is we took a pick and a wire brush, a little, like a wire toothbrush kind of thing, a regular toothbrush, a plastic pick and a metal pick, and we got all the walnut residue out of it, blew it all out, and it's all nice. One of the things that really does come in handy when you're doing something like this is where you got a lot of holes and you got these openings that are pretty large that you need to clean out, and what really comes in handy is one of those big gun cleaning kits. One of the inexpensive ones. I have this one here that I bought on Amazon. I'll link it in the description below. But it's got, wire brushes, brass and metal, and it's got a variety of different diameter wire brushes that are all kind of soft, so you're not going to do any damage or anything, and some picks and stuff. And this actually works really well in cleaning out all these different holes and cavities that you have to clean out in the slicer itself and in the parts of the slicer. So we're pretty much at the point where we could start assembling. So what I'd like to get done is I'd like to get this slicer flipped up on the back end without damaging any of the paint and the stuff that we did to it already. And we'll have to put the electrical cord in, and we're going to have to put the feet on that we got. And the feet on that we got something as close to what was on it originally. They were kind of big, the feet, as far as diameter goes. They have like an 1.5 inch diameter, and I'll show you an original compared to the replacement that we got, but that was the best we could do, finding different rubber feet online. So I'm going to flip this up. I'll get the feet and some glue to glue those feet in, just because I'm not really sure how they're going to fit. And then we'll get the power cord and we'll get that done. We're almost ready to start cutting meat soon. Alright, so as far as the feet go, here's what we have. We have the original feet, which are pretty fat. It's about 1.75 inches on the width, which really doesn't matter all that much. It's this nub right here that's got to squeeze in. So we get these. I found them on eBay actually. The height, it's about 1/4 inch. It's about 3/4 inch to an inch, I think. What is it? It's 1 inch. So it's actually it's 1 inch on the feet, and then this is 5/8. And I thought we were at 5/8, but let me zoom you in here. So you got these holes in the bottom. These fit in there pretty snug in these holes, and this is it's sloppy in the hole. And we're going to stick them in with a little weather strip adhesive on them. Just a little bit of weather strip adhesive to hold them in place, because once they're down it's really not going to matter, and then being 1 inch isn't going to matter much. But I'm only going to put a dab of adhesive on it because I emailed the guy. The guy actually emailed me and wanted to make sure that I was happy. He wanted to make sure I was happy with my purchase, so I emailed him. I told him that I was taking a chance on him, that when I gave him the measurements, I actually measured everything up and I gave him the measurements and said, if you have something that'll work better, let me know. I'd be interested in it. So in the meantime, I'm just going to put a little dab of weather strip adhesive on each one of these once we're ready to put it down on the ground, because I don't want to bang them out in the meantime. So on the bottom here, what we need to do is get our drain plug cap. So it turns out there's a crankcase where the output of the motor meets the drive gear for the blade. There's a crankcase there that actually gets filled with oil, and that's this drain here. So what we did was, in the fill hole, we shot some penetrating oil to clean out all the gunk that was in there, and there was some gunky stuff in there, and we got it all cleaned out. So I'm going to put just a little Teflon, it's a brass fitting and a brass cap, probably doesn't need a Teflon tape. I'm just going to put 1 or 2 rounds of Teflon tape on there and put this on, and then we need to run our new power cord and the ground that we added. So let me get some Teflon tape and we'll get going with that. So right here you can see the little brass shaft coming down. I'm just going to put a little Teflon tape on it, not much. Not a lot of room to get my fat fingers around. Alright, I'm sure that's plenty tight enough. Now we can do our power cord. So our power cord comes in this hole. It goes across, goes through this hole, there's a little bushing in it, and then it comes up through this hole and goes to the switch. Real simple power cord. Then there's 2 leads that are going off and going to the windings of the motor. I'm not touching these wires because if they pull out or break, I'm sure that's going to be a disaster. There's a lot of slack in them going into the motor. So I have some kind of power cord. I got it from my father-in-law. He saves everything. So everything that he throws away, if it's got a cord on it, he clips it off. So I got this cord. It's probably about 8 feet long, which is going to be perfect because we're going to use a lot of it on the inside here, because we're going to come in, I'm going to knot it so it doesn't pull back out on anything, and it's going to go up and around. But I want to cut this sheath back because the ground that we added is right here. So we drill the hole here, put a screw in, a machine screw in with a nut and a one of those grounding washers that's knurled, and we got that in tight. And then I got another nut with a washer, and we're going to bring the ground, and we're going to put the ground here. So I need to pull at least this much of the sheath off, if not more. So let's start with this much. I'm going to razor blade out, and we'll try to slice this sheath open without doing any damage. Alright, so it's got 3 of these paper windings, which I guess give it its strength. Alright, so what I'll use is I'll use 2 of them, run them with the positive and the negative, or the hot and the neutral, and then one of them staying with the ground. But I got to figure out which is which. So I'm going to have to get a meter, strip back these 3, just a hair. So we can figure out which is which. Looks like the blue's aluminum, the brown is copper, and the green with the yellow is copper also. So if I had a guess, I'm going to go the hot, the neutral, and the ground. But who the heck knows? So we are going to take this plug, and I'm going to get a meter, and we're going to figure out what's going on with the plug. Alright, so I went out, got a meter. This is a new meter. I hate it when I have a new meter. I'm always trying to figure out. It should be continuity. Continuity? I want the sound. Why can't it? I just wanted a simple meter. Yep. Okay. There we go. So we got that sound. So when this is in there like this, well, we know our ground. So let's do a little clampy on the ground, and I'm going to go straight for the green. Okay, so we know the ground is green, and now if I'm in the wall like this, my hot should be on this side. So this should be hot, and what was my hunch on the hot was the copper wire. No, it's not. So it's going to be the aluminum wire. So the aluminum wire is the hot. Right? Yes. Alright, so just to double check that, let me go to volts. Oh my god, you think it will be easy? Volts. Okay, volts. So let me take my dickies off, and that's neutral. Oh no, we want to go ground. Volts. AC, I'm on AC volts. AC volts, so we got there, and we got there. 123. Okay, so now if I switch them, okay, I'm just trying to figure out how I know. What if I go from ground to there? What do I got? Okay. So I was seeing it backwards. Okay. So my hot is the brown. See? Always a good idea. So what I did was I checked it against a known good outlet. And what do we get here? So we got the green is our ground, the brown with the copper wire is our hot, and our neutral is the aluminum wire. So now we got all our wires, we know our wires. I can turn this off, the dog can start barking. Alright, we can put that to the side, and now we know our blue and our brown are going to go all the way to the switch. So let me take all of this stuff, and we're going to put it through the hole in the case. Alright, I'm going to put it through the hole in the case. Now we're going to leave one of these ropes out, and we're going to take the green. We're going to unwind the green, because that's our ground. Unwind all the green down to there, because that's going to get terminated on our grounding stud there. And then we're going to take the rest of it, and we're going to bring it through, and it's going to come up to here, and it's going to go like that. So I think we have enough. So therefore, I'm going to pull it all out. I'm going to take this, that's where the insulation still is, and I am going to knot it. Yep.
Where you are.
Hi. Okay. So I got it knotted. Yes, I'm making a video. She comes in, thinks I'm talking to myself. So I got it knotted. The knot is so that if there's any pull on the wire through the case, it's not pulling on the wire itself. So now that it's knotted, I could take my green and a twine and leave it there. And I'll take my other two twines and my other two wires, and now I could put them back for the, oh no, not for the last time. We are going to tape these so that they're a little protected. So I'm going to take the twine that was woven around, and I'm going to weave it back around, and I'm going to have it like this. And I'm going to give it a little twist like that, and I'm going to grab some tape, and I'm going to tape this off.
Yes.
All right, go away. So I got work?
I'm gonna tell you why for the way. Did you eat yet, Gunner?
No.
No, okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's go eat. Come on. Come.
All right, so we got our wire tucked up through, our knot, our ground I cut down. I don't know if I'm going to do anything with this. So let's do the ground first. Let me zoom in here a little bit so you can see better. All right, so we got our ground. We got our terminal end. Alrighty, stick that through. You know what, I could probably use a red. So I'm going to stick that through, and we're going to crimp it down. Nice tight crimp on it. And take our washer off. Let me see if I got a, I'm going to put another washer on there, but I think that's good. A little bit overkill. Put that on. This not on here. Now up here, I stripped a little off. I got it crimped, and we got to put it on our little terminals there. There's no markings on it. You know, as you know, I'm not an electrician. There is no markings on it, like which one is the which one would be the hot and which one is the neutral. I guess we'll know. I mean, I don't know. Will the blade spin backwards if it's wrong? I don't know. I guess we'll find out. I'll put a little loop on it. I'm just going to guess. I got a 50% chance of getting it right. And there's a chance it might not even matter, to be honest with you. When it doesn't matter. Went on nice and tight. I think I will wrap a piece of electrical tape around that. Just to make me feel better that it's not an open connection underneath there. So if you wipe around it or something like that, you don't hit it by accident with your hand and, you know, get a little sensation. I'm going to go all the way around with a piece of electrical tape. Just like that. Alright, and I think that's pretty good. I could snip off the, there's my little cutters. Well, cutters somewhere? No, nowhere. Use the razor. Snip off the little paper rope, I got that in there. This is going to come up and go in here just like this in the cover plate. And the cover plate goes on. This mounts to the cover plate mounts to the front of the slicer. So the only thing left to do over here is maybe a couple of zip ties to hold this up and out of the way. Probably bring this around like this. Yeah. So now nothing can get pulled on. It's in there nice and snug. Got one more piece of tape, make it look nice. I didn't even use any zip ties. Because zip ties, 1940, you think they had zip ties in 1940? Come on. They didn't have zip ties in 1940. There you go. Nice and neat. Cord's done. Switch is done. Oh, I'd really like to know if the blade's going to spin the right direction. Huh. I wonder. Alright. Let's hope it does. I'm going to find the screws for the cover plate. That should be 4 screws. They're 4 little ones, but they were different. I remember they were different. They were all different. And then you need 2 for here. So there's the cover plate to this, and then this. Let me get the cover plate and we'll take a look. Okay, so here is our beautifully polished and restored, the best I could restore it, cover plate. So there's 2 tiny screws. These 2 tiny screws go in the middle. They attach the switch like that. So they go like that. Where's the holes? There's the holes. Oh. And this has got the off and on. Ooh. Ooh, so is the blade clear? Blade's got a lot of tape on it and stuff, but it's clear. Let's see if... Okay, so it's in there and it's in the on position, so I got it flipped around. So a good thing I checked that. Okay, so we got to flip it over. Okay, now the plate's in, the switch is off, so it's got to go this way, or it gets twisted again. It goes this way. Alright, before I put that whole top piece in, I know I'm off. Okay, I'm off. Now, let me switch to on. Let's make sure the blade spins in the right direction. So the blade is going to want to go this way. So looking at it from here, it's going to want to go clockwise. And it does. Okay, we're good. We're good. I don't know if I had a 50% choice, but we're good. The blade moved. And it moved in the right direction. So I could get back up here, turn it off. So I don't know if it mattered what side of the switch it went on. Not an electrician. Probably didn't matter. I don't know. I don't know. I know how electricity works. I don't know how electrical motors work. But I know that some motors, when you reverse the polarity, they spin backwards. But we're really not reversing the polarity with a hot and a neutral. I don't know. I only know like 12 volt motors, they have a power and a ground. It's the whole hot, the neutral, and the ground. I don't know if you're actually switching polarity when you're doing that. Okay. But either way, either way, we got a switch. And we got a cord. With a ground. And we are good to go. Alright, so with the bottom pretty much done, all we need to do now to the bottom is take our feet. Take 4 of the feet and the weather strip adhesive here. We can take all this stuff. We could move it out of the way. And we are going to take our Lazy Susan here. This to the side because we don't necessarily need that anymore either. Now we're going to take our feet, some weather strip adhesive. Take a little bit. One. It's always the last one. Get in there. There we go. Alright, that one's in there. Always the last one. Alright, make sure my hands are clean. Let's bring this down. Stay away from the blade. Alright. Rest it on the feet. And we are in good shape here. Alright, hope you enjoyed the fast one on the slicer. Electrical's done, feet are done, the underneath is done, the oil cap is on, so now we can start our reassembly process. And that should be pretty quick. We're going to be cutting cold cuts in no time at all. Hope you're enjoying this video series on restoring this old 1940 Globe slicer, family heirloom, Uncle Sam's old slicer. Thanks for watching.